Well, good evening. God bless everyone on another fantastic Monday. I'm going to start calling them Magnificent Mondays because it truly is a magnificent day. And we're thanking God for another magnificent Monday. And again, thank all of you all that have tuned in and that will tune in. T,
Yes, sir.
good evening to you as well.
Good evening, good sir.
Yeah, well, a great day it is. Come from having a fantastic Easter service. Yeah. Man, good food spiritually, good food naturally. Yeah, just had us a fantastic time. And we trust everyone else did. Good evening to you, Steph. Bless your precious heart. Lena, God bless your precious heart. Thank God for you all honing in on tonight. And I guess you could say we're still basking in this a fantastic time all day on yesterday. Stephanie, what was the name of that song that you sang yesterday? That was so beautiful. I would love to know the name of that. Good evening. God bless my daughter Marcinda, my daughter Tanya. Bless you all's precious heart. Love you much. Thank God for you. Steph, put that song up so I can know it anyway. And thank you all for all that you do for the ministry and all that you do for the Lord. Now let's follow suit as Steph hit that share button. Kiki, my daughter, bless your precious heart. You know, Tanya, you and Kiki and Tammy. I was looking at y'all on Facebook. I said, y'all just act like, like y'all own everything. Like you own the blessings, you own peace. You act like you own Jesus. Y'all just looked at so happy and prosperous and way to make everybody else look and want what y'all got. But God bless you all. Thank you all for sharing. It's called Found in Love by Seven Hills Worship. Okay. Man, that song really touched me on yesterday. As a matter of fact, we had a great time all day yesterday. Those little girls miming and praising the Lord. Boy, what a blessing that was, and really, really touched my soul. You didn't get touched yesterday. Something wrong with your feeling. Bless you, daughter Tammy. Thank God for you, and amen. We Tammy, you're funny. Appreciate God's people, and thank God for you. Well, T and I were just sitting here reminiscing and talking about how we had such a great time yesterday, and saying how we ate spiritually, and then we turned around and came home, and Pastor had this great meal, and we ate naturally, and we were just reminiscing. Saying we just had a great time all day on yesterday. Praise God, and I trust and know that you all did too. Especially Tammy, Kiki, and Tanya. Y'all just look like, y'all was just in y'all world with Jesus and having a great time. So again, thank y'all for tuning in, honing in. Yes, Steph, it was a tremendous blessing to us. We're going to get ready to dive into our subject. We know others are going to be coming in, and we're thanking God for them that's going to come in as well. But we're going to get ready to dive in. It was so good on last week. I know to me, I was tremendously being blessed as we're talking about relationships, and we were just going into all kind of depths of relationship, and you all really helped us, help me anyway, get smarter. Bless you, daughter, cousin Keisha. Bless your precious heart. Thank God for you. Love you, baby. And so I think we should get a little smarter. Pick up where we left off at on last Monday. So we're gonna pick up the subject talking about relationships, and we're gonna go. We're just gonna go there with relationships on today. So I'm gonna thank all of you all for sharing. I'm going to start off by, just giving my relationship, my definition of relationship. Well, you know what? Kenyatta, bless your precious heart, baby. Great job. You that were in our Detroit location on last evening. Kenyatta had the young people going forth, and they just done her daughter sang. Sam, for a moment, they act like it was his church, and he preached he preached his sermon using the same scriptures that I used. Great service, great job, Kenyatta. Thank God for you. Love you, daughter. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm not going to give my definition of a relationship. And remember, we said that it can be with families, it can be with friends, acquaintances, co-workers, whatever the case may be. So what I want us to do is, and I think we talked about some of the things, and you all can break it down before we dive all the way back in. But I want to ask this question: How do I get over a hurt from a relationship, any kind of relationship? How do I get over it, or do I just move on? I want y'all to tell me that whenever you get ready, T, if you want to chime in on that. I mean, when I get hurt in a relationship, do I just move on, or do I get over the hurt? I mean, how do I do that? I need let's get smart. Right. All right.
Honestly, I think it's for me, talking about me, for example, I think the circle of people, like circle of family and friends I have to help me get over a hurt, especially if it's a big hurt. I always got them to say, hey, like I know it's cliche, you're gonna find, it's gonna get better for you, move on, and like I feel like you have a good set of people around you, they're gonna help you get past. And first, from to take God for I'm sorry, yeah. But I think if you have a good group of people with you, they can help you get past that hurt. That's what I believe, honestly.
So do I mean, and y'all can chime in with Terrence and I. We're just talking, obviously. Y'all know how it goes. But do I get over the hurt? Do I just move on? Terrence Brown, a very good point. He mentioned about having a good support base. Yeah. Be that family, friends. Right. Like there's some friends hurt you and you got sometimes family hurt you and you gotta have family to help us get over it. But anyway, so y'all chime in and let me know. Do I just move on, or do I deal with the hurt? Terrence just gave us some good information on getting smarter, on having a good support base. Keisha is replying. Look like it. What is she saying?
She says, I move on while I'm getting over the hurt. Whether there is an apology or not, I go to God and I have a heart to heart.
Okay, I love that. Okay, Tanya.
She has. Well, if you're not going to leave the or end of the relationship, I always say if you're not going to leave, then you get over it and stay in the relationship. Or you move on and let that go and end the relationship.
Well, okay, so You're not going to leave the relationship or end it. You stay there. You're not going to leave. Then you get over it and stay in the relationship, or you move on and let that go and the relationship go. Okay, these are some good responses. I like all three that I've heard now from Terrence, from Keisha, from Tanya. Um, this is some stuff that'll really help us,
Right.
because this is life, and it happens to us. I mean, we can have hurt on our job, again, with family, with friends, acquaintances, co-workers, spouses. So we need to know how to deal with it. Good stuff, y'all. Marcinda says what?
Sister Marcinda has, first and foremost, hurt people hurt people. I have learned throughout the years to just leave well enough alone. I can forgive and get past the hurt. Get past the hurt. But I won't forget what was done.
Woo! Good stuff. Good stuff, daughter. That's all of this is good stuff. All right, and Linda.
Sometimes you need to do both, but make adjustments. Love the person, but make boundaries if necessary.
Some more good stuff. I like that word, boundaries. Okay, Steph.
Sometimes it just depends on how important the relationship is. If it's a priority, you do the work. If not, you probably won't. You probably won't, and let it die. Regardless, let God lead you and not your emotions.
Wow, that is good. That is really, really good. It depends on how important the relationship is. That's really good. All right, Lena.
You may need to seek counsel and talk to someone about it.
Yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna pause right here on what Lena just said, and we'll come back, revisit the others. But I like what Lena said, because sometimes we bury hurt, and if you have a plethora of hurts, you have a few hurts, and they sort of come, and you don't really deal with them. All that stuff hits you at once.
Yep.
And it's very important that is so important. What Lena said, you may want to seek some kind of counseling instead of letting stuff just pile up on you. Sometimes counseling is a good outlet, even if the person don't tell you what you want to hear. It's a good outlet. Very, very good point. All of y'all. It's good, Lena. Tammy says what?
It takes time for me to get over the hurt. I ask God to give me another heart and help me to move on.
That's really good. That's really good. This some good stuff. I hope y'all do like me. I'm serious. I'll be a sponge. I'm taking this stuff in, because this is some very good advice you all are giving. Okay, Kiki says what?
Any relationship that's unhealthy for you should move on, but it's going to take God to help to do something.
And again, I like that word, unhealthy, because sometimes we can be in denial, and stuff can be unhealthy, but because we're in denial, think about it. Anything like for instance, alcohol is unhealthy to him or her, but they keep drinking it, and they keep doing health or bodily harm to their body because it's unhealthy. That's a very good point, Kiki. It's the same way with relationships. When they become unhealthy, if you don't fix that, you're constantly putting unhealthy stuff into your body. All right.
She comes up and say, yes, sometimes long-term relationships are very hard to get over and move on.
It's very, very good.
I agree, because sometimes you spend so much time in a relationship, it's hard to move on.
Yeah.
Because if you ask the wrong person, what should I do? Oh, you should leave him. You should leave him.
Yeah.
And that'll always be the first person. The first thing they
That's
say,
good.
You should leave him or her. They always say that. Instead of telling them like pray about it, and and see what's worth fixing. Right. Like I say, like boundaries and stuff like that.
Or plan an exit.
Yes.
But that is so good. That years ago, of course, I was a lot younger. When somebody got hurt, and if I love the person, like for instance, just say let's say Lena. Of course, I love Lena. That's my daughter. But just say years ago, if somebody hurt her because of my love for her and somebody hurting her, I'd be like, leave him alone. And that is not always the answer.
Right.
But that's a good point, Keith. Sometimes that's our first response is hurt, which means, as Lena said, Marcinda said, hurt people if you're not careful. Yeah. So this person is emotional, they're hurt. Right. And so now I'm getting emotional, and I'm basically telling Lena, hurt them back. They hurt you.
Right.
And that is definitely not what we want to do. It's some good stuff, y'all. But again, as Kiki says, sometimes it's very hard to get over and to move on, even though in many cases that's what we need to do. All right, Marcinda says what?
Marcinda says you really don't want to believe the hurt they are putting out, especially you have known them for years.
Yeah, that is good. One of the things, man, all of this stuff is really good. One of the things that I want to go back to is that on last week we were talking about how when you have friendship and relationships, there's number one, there's communication. You have great communication. You have great respect, and respect is not given. Respect is earned. So that means somebody has earned your respect over a period of time, and so there's a respect factor there. And if you respect them, you trust them. Of course, not on this level, but we respect and trust the Lord because over a period of time, He showed us how great and phenomenal and awesome He is to us. Now, of course, on a much lesser level, that's what we do with humans. We love and we respect one another, so we trust one another. Then we go into support, so we support one another. We're honest with one another, again, because these are friends. It says, I trust you and you trust me, and I'm just using examples. We tell each other our darkest secrets and not worried about them getting out because we're friends. And you're always honest. You're always honest and upfront. Now, so when a hurt comes in, don't let Kenyatta statement get away from us. So when somebody's hurt, now I used to say this too: move on. But you got who was somebody at the top? I was Keisha.
Yeah.
She says, you basically work on it and move on.
Yeah.
That's a perfect answer because you got to deal with the hurt. You don't just move on,
right?
Because that hurt gonna catch you up the road somewhere. And unfortunately, we as blacks, especially black men, we have been taught to just move on. And what happens now? Just say you get hurt by the untimely death of someone. You get hurt by losing your job. You get hurt because you break off relationship, and you just have a multitude of hurts, and you keep moving on, and you're not dealing with it. Well, what's going to happen at some point? All of that stuff is going to hit you because you never dealt with it, and when it hits you, it can be disastrous. It can lead to a whole bunch of unhealthy physical things like strokes and ulcers and nervous breakdowns and all kind of physical ailments, mental or stress, and it just collapses you. And now you got to go get counseling. You got to go to the hospital, for emotional stuff or mental stuff as well as physical stuff, when really it should have been something we should have dealt with. So all of you are you're spot on. I like what Keisha said. Deal with it. You got to deal with it. And depending on what the hurt is, that's how you deal with it. And you deal with it, but at the same time, simultaneously, you're moving on as well. You're dealing with it. You're coping with it. Somebody mentioned about setting boundaries. You're setting up boundaries, and and you're moving on. And we're not trying to be superhuman, right. Wonder Woman or Superman, and act like, well, don't bother me. And no, I don't have to show it's bothering me, but I'm gonna deal with it and I'm gonna move on. So this is some good stuff. All right, Kenyatta and Tanya.
Kenyatta says real friends will allow you to make your own decisions and give you advice, not opinions.
Absolutely. I love that daughter. That is good. They will give you advice and not opinions.
Right.
Because people will give you opinions and expect you to move on their opinions.
Right.
And if you believe their opinions, they're their opinions now. They can become your reality, and before you know it, you're living somebody else's opinion and not advice. And people will let you know that this is my advice, not my opinion. What I think about you or think about the situation. Great point, Kenyatta. Tanya says what?
If the relationship is worth holding on to,
yes,
then I will forgive them and try to mend the relationship, but not allow them to hurt me again in that way or any way.
Okay, so Tanya, I'm gonna give you time, and y'all can respond to this question I'm asking Tanya. That's another very good point. Been there, done that. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But how do I determine if the relationship is worth holding on to? I want y'all to chew on that and let me and Tanya know. How do I determine if this relationship is worth holding on to? Okay, Kiki.
I don't like when people say, just get over it.
I know it. I know it. I know it.
Or when you're gonna get over him or her, or if it was me.
I need y'all to respond to what Kiki just said too, because that is how many times have all of us heard that, and when you're hurting, the last thing you can hear, just get over it, move on. Y'all respond to that. Wow. Okay.
Sister Marcella has you have to gradually rebuild the relationship again, because in your mind you wonder, will they do it again? Walls of your heart and emotions are up.
Wow. All right. So now that's sort of coinciding with what Tanya said earlier. Yeah. So now, but how do I know if this is worth me going through that again? You know.
Right. I remember a friend of mine asked me that same question, and what I told her, I said, "Well, I know it's, again, cliche, yeah. I'm sorry. I say, remember the good times and the bad times. Did the good outweigh the bad? Like, is it worth comparing?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And I hope you heard Terrence. I weigh. Like the song, I had some good days. But all of my good days outweigh my bad days. That's a very good point. Yeah. And weigh to see if it's worth it from that standpoint. All right, Sister Whitfield.
Yeah, Sister Whitfield says, so many people become involved in a relationship without considering God, but God has a solution.
Wow, very, very good point. I'm gonna give some scripture on what she just said. That what actually I can tell you out of that scripture now. I'm glad Sister Whitfield brought that out. It's 2 Corinthians 6, 14 through 18. In a nutshell, it just tells you and I to be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. I take that scripture in its whole context. The beginning, be not unequally yoked. You can't hang out with people that don't think like you. Yeah. I mean, there's some people that believe in certain areas like you, but other areas they don't. So now here comes that word again, boundaries. So I set up boundaries. I'm not going to fellowship with you in this area where you don't believe like me, where your faith is not active as mine, or they don't have the energy for certain stuff that you may have the energy for. That's part of it, and we can go deeper in that a little later. The other part is unbelievers, period. Yeah. Sinners and saints, believers and non-believers, Christians and sinners, they shouldn't be bonded. They shouldn't be bonded because one's going to pull from the other. So it's very important that we remember that and we don't cross those lines. But that just goes back to what Sister Whitfield said about not considering God. So before we dive all in, we have to have cautious optimism. We'll move forward cautiously. I like this person. Man, they could be a blessing to me and I can be a blessing to them. But I'm going to move forward cautiously. And I'm going to pray and I'm going to make sure before I open myself up to this person. Because got to remember this, y'all. God sees up life road and around God's corner. So very good point. Take that scripture in 2 Corinthians 6, 14 through 18. Read it and let's get smarter regarding that. All right, what else we got here?
Keisha has, you have to have peace about what
Yes.
happened to you.
Yes.
Nothing or no one is worth your peace.
Now, you know, I'm going to just have to open up me a counseling clinic and pull all of y'all in with all of this phenomenal advice. But you're absolutely right. Nothing or no one is worth your peace, and so we got to be on the alert for that, you know. And again, man, I like that word boundaries. Mm-hmm. We got to set boundaries, and people shouldn't cross those boundaries. And if they do, if it's not detrimental or disastrous, right, let them know, hey, you know, let's not play like that, or let's not do that. Let's not say that. Let's not go there because we don't want something negative to come out of it. All right, let's go a little further.
Tanya has, tell the person how you feel and how they hurt you.
Yes.
If you want to keep the relationship as possible, and if not, still let them know that they hurt you.
That's very good. That's somebody, I think it might have been Tanya, that was saying have a heart to heart. Yeah. Because sometimes people can hurt you and not really know they hurt you. Right. They may think that maybe they offended you. Maybe it was offensive, but it's a difference between being offended and being hurt. And so whoever mentioned heart to heart and what Tanya just said, that's a good thing to do. Yeah. Is to tell them. And they should understand if you mention that to them. Let's do our best to keep our word. Let's try our best to do. We know stuff happens, and sometimes we forget about stuff, but let's do our best to keep our word. Also, that really helps out in a relationship. Okay, what else we got?
Sometimes come back again saying, well, the years, the love, and the time, and the relationship between the people, excuse me, is how I would determine the salvaging of a relationship.
Okay, I like that. The years, the love, and time between the two people is how I determine. All right, that's really good. And what did you say earlier? About what did you say about building a trust?
Building the trust.
It's good, by the way, too. Time.
No, just making sure. You want to build you want to see where how I say it. You want to build a trust. You want to keep talking. See, like you said earlier, with boundaries. See what boundaries they're gonna take it, or see. You want to filter that person, whether you want to have a friendship or is it a girlfriend or boyfriend. You want to filter everything out. Just like you said, you don't want to jump into nothing.
Weigh everything out pretty much. Yeah. That's good. And that's pretty much what Tanya is saying. Boy, but and you mentioned the key thing when she said the years. Yeah. Because again, if it's a genuine friendship, as I mentioned, I say over time you build trust. Yeah. Trust is not given, trust is earned. You've earned my trust, I've earned your trust. And then when that's violated, man, I got to go through this
all
over again, And so now it's what Tanya was saying and what you were saying. Now I got to determine, is this relationship worth salvaging? How bad you miss this person, and then what Tanya's saying is really like going to counseling. Yeah. Because now you got to become vulnerable. You're vulnerable because, like, wow, you didn't hurt me once. And I know we use these words, get me first time, hurt me the first time, it's your fault. Second time, it's my fault, I mean, vice versa.
Right,
hurt me the first time, right. My fault. Second time, your fault. So now it's like, and we use those words loosely, and we really don't mean that or really know what we're saying in the full context of the statement. But my point of emphasis is I built up this relationship over the years. Now, do I want to be vulnerable? Do I want to open myself up? And how far open should I be to give this person an opportunity to hurt me in that area again? And then let me say this, y'all. It's biblical. Jesus said a corrupt tree can't bring forth good fruit, and a good tree can't bring forth corrupt fruit. He said, the tree by the fruit it bear. So I think to go along, I agree with everything Tanya said and what you said. But to add to that, now I got to see what kind of tree you are.
Right.
I gotta gauge this tree and see is the capacity is always there to hurt me again. But I got to see if this tree, if I can see physically that you can hurt me again, then I need to start backing up. But if I can't see that you can hurt me again, and now I'm still going to be vulnerable, but I can sort of move forward in repairing the relationship again. But if you can see the signs of a person and they're going to hurt you again, it's like, oh, no. Right. This is not worth salvaging. It's not worth saving. All right. What we got here?
Steph has, you have to take it to God.
Yes.
And let him lead you. The important thing is to leave it there. Take yourself out of the equation. Bishop tells us it's hard to see. I was just thinking that stuff. I was just thinking that. Bishop tells us it's hard to see the picture when you're still in the frame. Pain is a wonderful teacher. Some situations come to teach us a valuable lesson. We have to know the difference. Prayer helps.
Man, you know what? I think, Steph, I'm gonna let you just run that office. but it's so true. As hurtful as pain is, and sometimes, pain is for the moment, and the moment can be weeks, months, a year, years. But if we let it, it can teach us. And I know that's what we have to really be conscious of, that we be a learner. Let pain be a teacher. Very, very good point, Steph. But it's something we got to take to God in prayer. And then we got to be careful. Just say if Terrence hurt me, I can't hold Steph a hostage because of something Terrence done. Right. Like, in other words, Terrence say something or Terrence hurt me and Steph say something similar to what Terrence said, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, she ain't right, just like Terrence. Right. Yeah, no. You can't hold other people hostage because of a hurt from someone else. But we gotta let it be a teacher. We gotta learn from it. All right, what else we got going on?
Sister Marcina has relationships of all kinds will teach you a lot of lessons.
It's so true. It is so true. You're absolutely spot on. Could teach us a lot of lessons. Okay, what else we got?
So the teacher comes where everybody hurt differently. While you don't want to be stuck, you don't want to be rushed and mask the pain you have. A lot of people who says get over it is holding a grudge inwardly. I'm sorry, I'm saying that right. Inwardly. Thank you. Bitter and have no peace.
Okay, so you don't want to be stuck. Absolutely.
Right.
But you don't, and she got a good point.
Yeah.
You don't want to mask it. You don't want to cover up. You don't want to, how you doing? All right. In a situation like that, and we know we're careful with our words, but at the same time, you want to deal with it. You want to deal with it. And you believe you me, there will be situations that rise with the person or persons or situations, let you know if you're over the hurt or not.
Right.
And I've been down that road to where, I asked God to heal me from some hurts and things of that nature. And then, certain things happen to remind me of the hurt dealing with them or other people. And I said, okay, God, I'm almost there. I said, it still hurt, but it don't hurt as bad. And that's what Keisha's saying. They'll be like, yep, I'm over it, but there's still a little hurt. They say time heals all wounds, not necessarily. It takes God with time to heal wounds. Time doesn't heal all wounds. Right. You got to deal with it in a timely manner for it to happen. Good point, Keisha.
And I think that's a problem too, because I did know someone who kept jumping from relationship to relationship and kept not just masking the pain, but not really dealing with the pain. And they carried over to other relationships, and each one went bad or went worse. It was sad to see.
You know what I call that using another relationship as a pillow to cushion your fall. And it's sort of like what Keisha was saying, you're masking it.
Yeah.
Instead of dealing with, all right, I'm going to get me a new friend, be it a male friend, a woman friend, or just a co-worker friend or family, whoever. But you're not really doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
You're hurting.
Right.
So you're trying to get somebody to feel that void or that pain. Instead of, no, I need this pain gone. You know, I don't need to try to get somebody to come in and fulfill that. So it's very important, y'all, that we don't do that. That, you know, we really get delivered and really heal from that pain. It's very important. And God can help us through that, and God can help us deal with that. So let's keep that in mind as we move forward. All right, T, what else we got here?
Keita has some long-term friendship and or relationships aren't always permanent. Sometimes we try to hold on to relationship and friendship that God is trying to remove us from.
Oh my God, Kiki, that is, you know, I had something similar to that in my mind, and I lost my thought, and God just used Kiki to bring it back to my mind. That is exactly in the same field that I wanted to talk about. See, sometimes God wants us to move on from the friendships, relationships, and we're trying to hold on to it. Kiki greatly said, and it's a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes people to hurt you for you to back up. You know, and the backup is sometimes God saying, I've been trying to get you to do that for a long time, and you wouldn't do it. So now you're backing up. Now I can bring somebody else in your life to help get you to the next dimension, next level that you need to go to. That's a very good point, Kiki. So let's really be prayerful and value what God is saying. Tune in and listen to God to see if he wants you to repair that. Or if he wants you to leave it alone and you work on getting healed and moving on with your life. And please do this. Do not use other people to feel the hurt of someone else. Don't do that. Whatever season that God have you in, maybe you was a person that had a plethora of friends, and now she's like, you don't hardly have anyone. And that could bother you. I know, been there. That can bother you, but you don't want to be just reaching out now, because now you're vulnerable again, and you can get hurt because you're just reaching out because you're used to people being around you, shopping, dinner, whatever, entertainments, concerts, movies, whatever. And now there seems to be no one that does that. It's going to come again, but you want to make sure that it's God. And somebody used the word unhealthy. You want to make sure it's healthy. So don't be too quick to dive back into another relationship. And at the same time, don't lock up. As Keisha said, be stuck because you're not open to receive what God is. It's tedious, and it's a balance that we have to find. All right, let's move on.
Marcinda says, amen, but people do what birds of a feather.
Yes. Yes. I thought I saw, I did.
Kenneth H. What?
Yeah. Pastor Walls, God bless you, man of God. And thank you. That's encouraging to hear that. Good. I'm always glad to hear and see from you. All right, what else we got, T?
Sister Marcinda says, some people realize once you turn your back that they have messed up that time. They wish they could turn back the hands of time and take it back, but it's a little too late. That goes for family. I said goes for family, acquaintances, and friends. You don't have to continue the hurt or pain of disappointment.
That's a strong, powerful, very good point. But what Marcinda, y'all help me. What if it's worth repairing? Remember, Tanya was talking about deciphering whether the relationship is worth repairing or not. So how do I handle it? Because what Marcinda said, been there, done that as well.
Yeah.
So how do I fix that? Let me say it like this. Sometimes we be tested. And what I mean by that, y'all have heard me many times, as well as other people, preach on the subject we're being tested. And remember the story in the Bible about the Syrophoenician woman, which was Syrophoenicia was a Canaan suburb, and how she came to Jesus and said, "My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil." And the Bible says when she came to Jesus, he ignored her. And then when he finally started talking to her, he called her a dog. And the bottom line, she ended up getting her miracle, but she was being tested. So just think if when Jesus ignored her, she would have left. Just think if he'd have called when he called her a dog, she'd have left. Sometimes we're being tested. And what I mean by that, there was somebody that hurt me and really crushed me, and they gave the appearance that they wanted to come back into my life. They gave that appearance, and I cracked the door, cracked it. I didn't open it, but I cracked the door, and they took me to lunch. They wanted to golf with me. I cracked the door because I wanted to see how serious they were. Because I feel, for example, if I've crushed Pastor Walls, then it's my responsibility to bring some fruit worthy of repentance. That's what John the Baptist said. And now the onus is on me to prove to him that I recognize the damage that I done. And if he cracked the door, I got to do everything within my power to open that door, to let him know that I am so sorry. You don't never have to worry about me doing that again. I've learned my lesson. That's something Marcinda brought out, which is a good point. So what I'm saying is simply this. I cracked the door and he didn't do anything to make me open the door. And so I closed the door. And the door's closed to this day. And that's the way you got to do. When somebody's coming back, you don't just open the door. Yeah. You crack the door and let them prove that they're worthy of you to open the door by the fruit, by the personality, by the humility, by the I want this restored. I realize I blew it. I want to give me an opportunity, and I promise you I'll repair it. That's the kind of stuff. That's when you can start considering opening the door. How determined are they? And if they're not that determined, you say I did right by cracking the door. Yeah. or opening the shade a little bit, Mm-hmm. But very good point, Marcinda. Thank you. All right. Is it Tanya?
So the Tanya is she calls it when all wounds heal with time and care, meaning taking care of yourself before you enter a relationship.
Yes.
If you don't feel on the next person. Hold on. Comments coming in quick. Trying to catch you. I'm sorry. Okay. If you don't feel on the next person on the relation in that relationship, I get what you're saying. If you don't feel the need on that next relationship on that person,
right.
It's like you're not ready to, so you're not ready to get in one yet. Because again, like you said it earlier, people are so quick to jump into another relationship.
Yes.
And they don't get time. They don't get time not just emotionally, but they get their time, their heart to mend. Or is that I can't remember who said it, but Steph said like give it to God, let God heal your heart. So I see what you're saying. Was like people don't get no time to heal.
Absolutely. And earlier, my sister said, hurt people. Yeah, you're gonna hurt somebody else. And and on that note, Tanya, I saw a documentary about Halle Berry. I didn't know that lady had been married that many times. She'd get divorced and just marry somebody else. She'd get divorced and date somebody else, have a baby by. That won't work out. I mean, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know where the hurt come from. You're in a state of confusion. So you're absolutely right, Tanya. Take care of yourself before you dive into another relationship. And again, that's just not with the opposite sex. That's with people in general. You gotta learn how to heal before you open yourself up to that again. All right, what do we got here?
Micah has. Hold on.
Tanya says.
I'm sorry, Tanya. If the person is a repeated offender in the relationship, then I would let go of that relationship.
Absolutely. And that goes back to what I was saying. You know, you open the door and they come in and something happens again. You going down the road, you know. All right, Michael says what?
Michael says, in a situation like that, it's best to communicate to that person that wronged you why you distance yourself and how they respond to their actions. It is up to them, but a lot of time it's hard to open back up.
Wow. All right, so situations like that, say it's best to communicate. And that's somebody else mentioned that earlier. That hey, talk to them, communicate with them, the one that wronged you. Just so, and if not, she says it so well. You distance yourself, and how they respond with the actions is up to them. There you go again. You crack the door. You don't open the door. Great job, Michael. Appreciate that. But it's hard. Again, it's hard to open up, and people should understand that.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to trust you in that area again if you crush me in that area. All right, what do we got?
Steph says that's right. People tell you who they are with their actions.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right, let's move forward.
So the time has, if you don't heal, you will bleed out the next person.
Wow. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thank you, Tanya. Amen. You will bleed out the next person. Wow. All right.
Okay, so we got what Sister Kita has. I always bet myself up for always allowing people to hurt me and hurt me again. Do we forgive? 770. Sorry, 770.
Hey, y'all, come on now. Let's answer Kiki. She say, how many times do I forgive this person? They keep hurting me. So come on, y'all. Let's get smarter. Remember, that's one of our pet peeves, one of our comments, one of our statements. Let's get smarter. You really what? Now I guess she says. She says she always beat herself up for always allowing people that hurt her to hurt her again. So come on, how do we deal with that? Because again, now T, somebody said it and you said it too. Hey, let's move on.
Right.
Let them go. But what if it's somebody? Let me say this: you can pick your friends, you can't pick your family. So what if it's family? I mean, how do? Come on, y'all, help us out here. Kiki has a question on the floor, and it's up to Pastor Walls and Keisha and Tanya and Tammy and Kenyatta, and the list goes on. And Taryn, it's up to y'all to give her an answer. So how do we do that? Do we keep forgiving them? Do I gotta let them hurt me again to prove that I've forgiven them?
You know what, Sister Kita, I'm gonna tell you, I did know someone. We was actually pretty tight for maybe multiple years. The problem was she kept crossing those boundaries, even though we patched things up. But I think about the third time it happened, I was like, okay, enough's enough. Even though we had such a good friendship, and I continuously tell this person, all right, come on, don't go that route with me. Please don't go that route with me. But by her trying to be slick with it and doing it, I like enough's enough. And that's what it is. Like I won't say how can I say it? 3 strikes you're out. That I don't normally believe that, but when you constantly doing it and knowing that you're doing it, that's not a good friend or a good person. Even when you tell them hey, please don't cross that line with me. Because I was really trying to save our friendship. Obviously, this person didn't care because they want to get their point across. And how you say it, don't seek to be understand.
Don't seek to right.
Yeah, don't seek to be understand, but seek to be
understood. Don't seek to be understood, but seek to understand.
Seek to understand, yeah.
Want to understand, yeah.
That's why I had to take that. And I said, everything we talk about, I put that all into perspective.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, this is not worth dealing with or salvaging.
Yeah, it's I mean, at some point, I think Well, I'll let y'all send your answers in. Let's move on. We'll come back to that, Kiki.
Okay, so Keisha I had to take a break from a friendship of a close friend. The relationship wasn't severed, but God was working on us separately. So after a while, God released us to actually resume our friendship.
Okay, it wasn't like split, destroyed. Yeah. But God was working on each one of them separate. Okay. After a while, God released them to actively resume the friendship. Okay. But I noticed how she keep using God, because that goes back to what Sister Whitfield said earlier about giving God an opportunity to work. All right, what is Kenyatta says?
Kenyatta says, when a person continues to damage their friendship, then realize that what they were doing is up to them to do what it takes to repair the damage. They don't damage that they have done. Not go back on the same damaging behavior to expect to be tolerated.
So she said they don't.
I think we're saying, like, when a person realizes they mess up, it's up to them. Like you said this earlier, it's up to them to repair that, but not going the same way that damaged the friendship. What caused the rift beforehand.
And at the end, she mentioned something about not using the same not damaging
behavior. So
yeah, that's so true. Yeah, it's so true. If I know that this is offensive to you and it hurts you, it damages you, then my behavior has to change. That's a very good point. But if they continue to damage it, then realize that then they realize, hey, I'm damaging this. Is up to them. What she's saying, I got to repair this. I got to fix this. So if there's going left, they got to go right. They're jumping, they got to walk. Whatever, they got to change the behavior. Very good point. I got you. Yeah, you're right, daughter. Absolutely. Tanya says what?
The spirit of loneliness that comes to you bound in a relationship that God never ordained for you.
Wow, that is so good. That is so good. It's a spirit of loneliness, and it's a difference between being lonely and being alone. Right. Throughout the Bible, when people was alone, from Moses to Jacob, the list goes on and on and on. They got a visitation from God, and their life was promoted, and then the right people came into their life. But loneliness is a spirit that would try to depress you and make you be just accept anyone and anything because you're tired of being lonely. Very good point, Tanya. All right. Okay. What else we got here?
Sister Tanya said the 770 guy will really have to help me with that one and show me that is him telling me to give him the 77.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Okay, Keisha says what?
So you forgive the 77. The 77. However, don't keep allowing access. Allowing access to you long-handled spoon works well. So pretty much you're saying like I'm gonna love you from afar.
Right. I would like to know how you get in that spot to let that person keep hurting you, and then you beat yourself up. I remember Kiki saying that, and in here she says it again. She meant to say beat. So how do we position ourselves for this person, be it family, co-workers, whoever, to keep church members to keep hurting us, and we got to keep forgiving them. Hey, Kiki, I need help too, baby, because I've done that too. Yeah. Where I let the same person almost drill me, hurting me. One of the ways that I dealt with that is sort of like what Tanya Keisha one was saying. I'll forgive you. And no, it was Keisha. Tanya said, look, I'm forgive you 7 times now. And 70, I don't know where that's coming from. But, I got you, baby. But yeah, but at some point it's like, I forgive you, but I pray that I don't have to forgive you these many times, not for your sake, but for my sake. Right. So now I gotta see what is it that I'm doing, or who and what am I allowing or attracting for the same person to keep hurting me. At some point, I'm gonna love you, and I think you mentioned with the long handled spoon. Yeah. I'm gonna love you, but I ain't letting you come over here, because I don't want to have to keep getting angry, hurt, damaged, and then you come back. Okay, I ain't gonna do it no more. And you keep doing it. Sort of like one time, Pastor was telling me because somebody kept hurting me, and Pastor told me to come down and basically let him hurt me again. I said, I ain't doing that no more. And she said, that ain't God. I say, that's right. I'm not God. I say, at some point, I'm damaged goods. You can't keep doing that to me. So I would take it personally, and I would say, what am I doing? What am I doing to allow the person to keep hurting me? As Tanya said, being a repeat offender. Allow them to keep hurting me in the same area. I'll try to. Then and I see Sister Linda got a very good point. She says boundaries. Absolutely. Set some boundaries. You can't come over here. Come over here. No, you can't go over there. Come over here. All right. If you mess up over here, you can't go over there no more. So them boundaries. Thank you, Sister Linda. Very good point. All right. What else we got here, T?
Sister David said, if a person show you who they are, believe them.
Ooh-wee. I just told Pastor that the other day. I say, when a person show you who they are, believe them. All right.
Time goes in with, even with family, you have to take your time and evaluate the relationship.
Yeah.
I can choose to love you from a distance.
Yeah, with that spoon. Yeah.
For destroying my peace of mind.
Yes, sir.
And my well-being, even if you are family.
Yes, sir. And I like that. Even if you're a family, I still can love you and, hey, how you doing? Give you a hug, dab you, whatever the case may be. But I got that word boundaries, Sister Linda used. Got to set boundaries. All right. Michael says what?
I learned once people show you who they are.
Yes.
You accept them. You accept it. What they do want bothers.
That I see what she's saying.
Okay.
That's a very good point. When they show you who they are, and you accept it, like in other words, you're a liar. Okay, I accept you're a liar. So when you lie to me, you ain't heard me, because I know you're a liar. I accepted that. I expect you to do that. Very good point, Mike. I like that. All right, what else we got?
Sister Marcinda has, while your family will hurt you the most, but yes, forgive them, continue to love them, but you don't have to be around them.
Absolutely.
Love them from a distance.
Absolutely.
Remember, God has forgiven us.
Absolutely. Gosh, y'all are making me so much smarter. Very, very good point. Okay, what else we got?
First Lady Davis says, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
That's not a cow, that's a duck. Absolutely right, daughter. Absolutely right. All right.
So the lady has, oftentimes we convince ourselves that you're being the bigger person, and we tell ourselves that we will get over it. And in the end, you feel taken granted for and not validated. The association becomes a toxic.
Wow. That's very good. That's very good. And I like what she says. It's almost like we trick ourselves and say, I'm being the bigger person. And so I never shut the door. Right. The door is always open for you to come in and do it again. But I'm being the bigger person. It's good, Lena. And and in the end, you don't feel valued, just as she said. This person have devalued you. They really have. And now you're devalued, and it becomes a toxic relationship. And now, if we're not careful, we'll start holding other people hostage for something that someone else has done. All right. Okay. What else we got?
Tia says you have to forgive your soul to be free, but to treat people according to their behavior and boundaries. They got the word again.
Absolutely right. Thank you, daughter. Phenomenal. Absolutely right. All right. What we got?
Steph, guys. True forgiveness is all up.
Wait a minute. What? Yeah, Marcinda says. Marcinda say it's a duck. I thought, oh, it ain't no cow, it's a duck. I got you, daughter. All right, what we got in? We're gonna have to wrap up after Tammy.
So Steph has true forgiveness is all up to you. Once you get tired of being held back, allow the situation to keep you in a holding pattern. It becomes easy or easier to forgive and let go. My one hope in every hurtful situation is that I learn something that will make me better. When that accomplishment, the bitterness fades, and I can get back to liking and loving them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take your power back and can't let others control you.
Very, very well stated. I like what she was saying about being tired of held back, allowing the situation to keep you in a holding pattern. You know, because that's sort of controlling you. Basically, what she's saying, you've given them the power with allowing them to, you know, like, or as Lena said, devalue you. Yeah. And so now she said, give me my power back because I'm setting boundaries now. Very good point. Thank you. Tammy says what?
Sister Tammy said you have to forgive the 770 and use with them when interacting with them.
Yep.
We have to love them, but as my mom used to say, feed them with a long handle.
As T said earlier. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. You know, people and you shouldn't have to be like this, but daughter Michael said something really good. What you say, well, first her mom say, when people show you who they are, believe them. And then Michael say, when you accept who they are, now I can deal with you. I know how to deal with you. But now, this is what I do sometimes, and I don't like doing this. But I know certain people may say anything. I put my guards up, you know, and you know, I don't allow my emotions to get in the way, but sometimes I'll retaliate. I'm trying to find the right word, can't find it now, but I'll say something back. Not something, like a subtle rebuttal, like a not offensive but defensive, right? You know, and so we shouldn't have to go through life like that. Right, but I'll say something defensive, but you know how they are, and so you treat them accordingly, and I'll be around them only when I have to be around. Yeah. You know, and then it should not, you know, have my guards up like that. All right, let's read some more.
Marcinda says, "Woo! Someone please answer the church. Church hurt.
We're gonna deal with that on next week. We don't have time, but it's good. Remember that for next week, Marcinda. We're gonna deal with it. Kiki says what?
I let my guard down.
Yeah.
I let my guard down, and I guess I give them the benefit of the doubt. But to be honest, I care too much, sadly."
Wow.
Yeah.
See, Kiki, I love that though. She know what her fault is. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, it's something I got to see. What am I doing to allow this person to do that? And she say she cared too much. She let her guards down. So you got to raise your guards up a little, and you can still care. But I think it was Tammy and you say I got to deal with you with a long handled spoon. Because you've proven that if I keep my guards down, you're gonna hurt me. Right. Okay, what else we got? I'm looking at Kenyatta throwing Affleck. y'all are hot tonight, boy. All right, Brenda says what?
Sister Brenda said.
Oh, she just hit share. Bless you, daughter. Always good to see you. All right.
Steph was responding to Sister Kita saying, "Don't give up, Kita. There are others who will cross your path that will be worthy of your love."
That's right.
Be encouraged.
I like what she said. They will be worthy of what you have to offer, what you bring to the table. They're more with you than it is against you. I like that. I like that comment, Steph. They will be worthy of your love and your kindness and the gift of helps that you have. We all know that you have a gift of helps. And there's some people that God has that's going to really appreciate that. All right, Viola says,
"Unforgiveness binds you, and more hurt is a trigger for pretty much saying forgive." Yeah.
Again, hurt people. So I got to get delivered from hurt. So I won't be so quick to hurt someone else and forgive them. Thank you, First Lady. All right, let's get down to Tanya, and we got to get ready to wrap up.
So sometimes people will take advantage of your heart and how wait, I can't
Yeah.
people will take advantage of your heart and how you love them and keep hurting you,
Yeah.
and they living like kings and queens.
Yeah, that is so that is so true. People know that, and really, I know all of y'all here that are on the line today, and y'all have a heart of gold, and I know me, and I know all of us. God bless you, Sister Janice. Good to see you as well. And I know y'all have a heart of gold. And I would never hurt you all. I know you all would never hurt me, not purposely. I know that. So I don't have to have my guards up with you all. But there are some people that know that you got a heart of gold, and they'll take advantage of you. And those are the people that you got to put your guards up against, and not allow them to take advantage of you. And then you want, as I think it was Steph or someone that said earlier, let's learn from the pain. Let's learn from the hurt. Let's get smarter. All right, like in other words, if I got a hurt like this, I'm gonna learn from it. I'm not gonna get bitter. I'm gonna get better. And sometimes getting better, other people will think you're being bitter, and other people will get mad at you because you're not opening the door. You're cracking the door, or you're opening the blinds to see who's at the door. If this is hurt, I'm not opening the door. I'm closing the blinds, and I'm not even going to crack the door anymore. So you got to understand that you want to get better. You want to be healthy. Part of being healthy is not allowing continued hurt or going through the same thing over and over again. So, hey, y'all, it's been fantastic. We've been here over an hour. Man, and I, as my friend Apostle Leon Wallace from the Bahamas would say, it's been fun, but I gotta run. It's been great. Marcinda, bring that stuff. Church, bring that up next week. We're going to deal with it. We're going to deal with relationships a little longer. Remember, please, if it's a topic, if it's a subject that you all want to deal with, that you feel we need to get involved with, y'all text me. Text me and let me know, Bishop, let's talk about this. Let's talk about finances. Let's talk about whatever the case may be. And we're going to deal with that. If we get enough of it, we're going to talk about it. But we're going to probably have to take the next 2 weeks and wrap up with relationship. And I appreciate you all so much for your participation and for all of us getting smarter. Well, we got to get ready to go. Always remember, you can have a reliable source, but if they don't know the truth about whatever it is they're telling you, and it's a lie, they're relying. You want to make sure that people are talking to you, they're not relying. And always remember, the same dog that will bring a bone will carry a bone. And only thing worse than a liar is someone that would rely. I love y'all. God bless your precious hearts. Can hardly wait to see you next Monday. In the meantime, have a great night. God bless.